Hey guys, back at it again with another video, another Friday Night Live. You guys know that each and every Friday night I promised you that I would go live, show my face. So here I go, here I go, here I go. Back at it again as usual, decompressing from all the code switching and the politicking that we have to do at these people's job every day, all day. So we're in here just decompressing, kicking it, reconnecting with the collective and learning from the collective wisdom of the Kells community. I appreciate y'all joining. Yes. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Yes, I think I'm coming in bright and clear over here, which is great. And yeah, we gonna make it do what it do. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. How's the week been? You know, if you're in here watching us on the chat, you know the deal. Come on in. Let me know where you're watching from and what you are sipping on. And if you are watching us on replay, gang, it's all love too. Drop this emoji in the chat and let us know that you're watching us on the replay. I see I went in the building. Thank you so much for joining us on time, bright and early. So appreciated on this Friday night. Yeah. So here's the deal. This week was hard for me. I mean, I don't know about y'all. Y'all need to let me know how y'all are feeling, what's been going on for you guys this week. But this was definitely I don't want to start on a downer. You know what I mean? Like normally I'm in such a chipper mood, you know, like upbeat, ready for Fridays, happy to be reconnected with y'all, lights, you know, camera action, you know, making it do what it do. But definitely this week I was just like, Lord Jesus, what's the problem? What's going on? You know, so y'all let me know how it was. This just week for me, or like was it just me this week, or like what was going on? What y'all feeling? I see Katie in the building. What's up? I see Apartment Life View in the building. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Friday. What are y'all sipping on, and how was the week? Because the way my week was set up, the way my week was set up, I don't really know what was going on. But we made it through. A lot of self-coaching, a lot of tears, a lot of picking myself back up. But we here. We here. This was a tough week for me. I don't know what was going on. I really don't. I know it was a full moon. But other than that, I'm not really sure what was going on in the cosmos or whatever to make this week be so. Whew, this week was challenging. That's all I gotta say. So y'all know, we talk about what we sipping on in here. I'm literally just sipping on some lemon water, keeping that throat chakra lubricated. I can't do no liquor, nothing with any, you know, altering effects. I just want to be grounded. I just want to be relaxed. I just want to be chill this Friday. So it's lemon water for me, you know, for the grandma. Look, I can't handle nothing else. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to close this week out as smoothly as possible, and it's water to my tea. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Katie's in. Happy Friday. Apartment Life View is saying, this week was stressful. Time to update the resume. Sis, look. Look. You know, the way that the way it's set up right now, I look, very challenging. Very challenging. You know what I mean? And it might not even be, I'm still trying to figure out if it's challenging because it's just time to, you know, make it do what it do, or if it's challenging because the work and the role is still challenging. Because, you know, once it's time to, you know, get like a rolling stone, things be getting uncomfortable. Things no longer fit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this, I don't know if this fit anymore. You know what I mean? So what is it? You know, what's going on? What's going on? You know what I mean? Katie's drinking coffee in the middle of the night, Katie. Anna, hey boo. Happy Friday. Clink, 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 clink. Cheers. Oh my gosh, guys. It was definitely a challenging week for me this week. I don't know. I'm gonna say, okay, let's start off. We gotta do a cheers. Okay, what do we want to cheers to? I want to cheers to. Look at my little bang doing what it want to do. Hold on. This week I want to cheers to. I'm trying to think. What do we want to cheers to this week? We want to cheers to deciding, making the decision. we want to I want to cheers to making the decision, being clear on what I'm allowing myself to have, what we are allowing ourselves to have, what we are allowing ourselves to receive, and making the decision on that, being clear and unequivocal about that, because I feel like the decision is the hardest part. So we gonna say cheers to getting clear in our minds on whatever decision we need to make, whatever decision we've been hemming and hawing over all week, getting clear on, this is the decision, this is the way forward, this is what we're going to do. And, if we need to ask for help, we'll do that, or whatever needs to happen. But being clear on, we're cheersing to clarity and inviting in that clarity in that decision. That's what I feel like cheersing about. So clink, 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 clink. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think during the topic, we'll do the topic reveal, but I feel like, I don't really know. Like last week wasn't that great either, and then this week was a little bit rough too. So I just feel like there's a lot of transition and a lot of change, or something that is a little bit unnerving happening right now. And I don't know. Usually, if it's happening for me, it's kind of happening in some part of the collective. And so that's why I'm like, let me be vocal about this, because if you're feeling anything like that, something unnerving, unsettling, it is not, I don't think it's an individual experience. I feel like a lot of us are feeling that same like restlessness to some extent, of knowing that something's on the cusp of bubbling up, but not really sure what it is. And so it gives you like a little bit of a nerves or anxiety or restlessness. That's how I'm feeling. And I am looking forward to soothing that. And that's going to give you a little hint into what our topic is for tonight. Katie is saying cheers to clarity. You know what I mean? And it was Anna saying it was a full moon too this week. Definitely felt that this week. I definitely felt that coming to a head kind of feeling. Because, when the moon is coming into its fullest form, it's something is into its completion, it's full, it's ready to be birthed. And so I definitely feel that like tension of how it feels when something is percolating and it needs to like pop. And that's what I feel like when full moons, that's how full moons kind of feel to me sometimes. So I definitely feel like that's what was going on this week a little bit too. Right. So, oh my God, I'm just so happy to be like to Friday and get into this weekend and see what we're going to do this weekend. But before we do all of that, let's do the topic rundown. We'll get into the topic reveal, and we'll talk about what we want to talk about tonight. And yeah, I appreciate y'all being here and the engagement per the usual. Okay, so you guys know each and every Friday Eve, aka Thursday, I drop the topics on Instagram and YouTube community tab. And then you guys get to select what we talk about. Y'all vote. And then if y'all vote unequivocally on something, if y'all vote very clear on something, I will pick that topic. If it's wishy-washy, if it's half over here, third over here, third over here, I will pick the topic. I'll make the executive decision and pick the topic that we're going to talk about tonight. So let's do the topic rundown, see how y'all voted, and then we'll do the little topic reveal, and then we make it do what it do. In the meantime, show our moderators some love. Apartment Life View and Energy in the building, moderating the chat. Thank y'all so much for the support and keeping the trolls out. Hopefully tonight it's looking like we might not have that many trolls in here, which is good. We don't usually have trolls anyway, so not too worried about that. But I appreciate y'all being moderators. So, all right. So let's look at. All right. So let's have a look at the topics that were dropped on IG. All right. So 4 topics per the usual that the collective chooses from. So the first one was how to free yourself from the judgment of others. How to free yourself from the judgment of others. That came in at 25%. The reason on Instagram, we're running now Instagram first. The reason why that was a particular topic for this week is because I felt like a lot of unwarranted judgment and opinions of other people were a little bit imposed on me this week, and it was a little bit getting underneath my skin. So I was like, if I'm experiencing that, maybe the collective is experiencing it as well. So let me throw that out and see if y'all want to talk about that. And that came in as 25% this week. Yeah. Second option was how to soothe yourself through big life changes. And that came in at 25% over on Instagram. Reason why that one was a topic this week was because, as I said, I feel like something's coming to a head. There's some big changes that are happening, and I feel like when big changes happen, requires big inner work and requires big allowance and tolerance and just some changes that need to happen internally to allow for the big change to come in smoothly. And so I felt like that's like some soothing that needs to happen. So that's why that was an option for this week. Third option for this week was why they pretend not to see your greatness. This is people this is the sense, this came up because there was a sense that you have to convince. Sometimes you get into a situation where you hear yourself convincing somebody of why you're qualified to do something, or why why you said what you said, or why you'll be good at something, or why something is for you, but yet it just can't sink into their head. It can't sink into their cranium. And I experienced that this week as well. So that's why I was like, why are they pretending like they can't see your greatness? Like, are they blind or are they dumb? Like, which one is it? Because both of them need a remedy. Okay, so that was the third option. That came in only at 12%. Y'all wasn't really feeling that one, but that was an issue for me this week, so we made it an option. Okay, and then I'm high strung today. The nerves was real high this week. So, that's why I'm like, anyway. And then the fourth one was how to go for better when things seem okay. So how do you still level up and go up level? How do you reach for better? How do you reach for greater when things seem okay and you should be satisfied? You ever have anybody tell you, oh, that came in at, let me see what percentage that came in at. 38%. So that was actually the number one on Instagram for y'all. But the numbers were very kind of like, not too huge, right? 25, 25, 12, and 38. So it's literally a difference between like one or two people voting across. So the numbers were pretty even on Instagram. So there wasn't like this very clear direction y'all wanted to go to on Instagram. But that last one, about how to reach your better. You ever hear somebody, that one came about because sometimes you hear people, who are not reaching for more in their lives, people who are satisfied with mediocre. They may say things to you like they don't understand why you can't be satisfied, or why nothing makes you happy, or why can't you just be happy with what you already have. These things that really kind of stifle you reaching for more and wanting and aspiring and being ambitious. And so that's why that came as a topic. It's like, how do you get past that? How do you ignore people? How do you even ignore your own inner critic and reach for what more your heart is telling you actually want? Right? And so that was the option for number 4. And that's how y'all voted across Instagram. So wanted to give y'all a rundown of where those topics came from this week and what y'all numbers were looking like on Instagram. Yeah. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Y'all like the polka dots? I was like, looking in the closet, I was like, what do I feel like today? Let me get something a little lighthearted. Let me get something a little jovial or something. Let's bring the energy back up and let's do a little polka dot situation. I'm liking it. And in the red lip. We haven't done the red lip in a while, so we brought that back tonight. Yeah. So, hopping over onto YouTube and looking at how you guys voted over on YouTube's. Same 4 options, except that the number one by far, looking like 83% over on YouTube, was how to soothe yourself through big life changes. And then why they pretend to not see your greatness came in at 17% on YouTube. And then how to go for better when things seem okay, and how to free yourself from the judgment of others came in at goose egg. What's going on? Goose egg, 0% for the 2 of those. So by far, swept on YouTube, how to soothe yourself through big life changes. Yes. Anna saying it's giving sexy sophisticated. It's giving sexy sophisticated. Thank you, boo. Thank you. So yeah, those were our topics for this week, and I'm hoping to keep, today a little bit upbeat. I am a little bit, as I said, a little bit like hair, you know, breeze blow, and I'm about to pop off. You know what I mean? But I do think that has to do with just like hormones as a lady and full moon and those types of things, and just like the changes that I feel like are percolating up right now, and those decisions that we have to make to, put one foot in front of the other. Yeah. So I made the executive decision of what we're going to talk about tonight. Because the numbers over on Instagram were too tight. It was too close. It wasn't no sweep. And then there was a sweep on YouTube. And, y'all know sometimes I go back and forth between what we're going to talk about on YouTube, if it's selected by the YouTube audience versus if it's selected by the IG audience. Today, we are going to go with the YouTube audience. We are going to go with, how do you soothe yourself through big life changes? I think that's an important one right now, because I feel like some big things is popping for a lot of us, and I could use some soothing. So I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this Friday Night Kickback as a little bit of self-talk, a little bit of self-coaching, a little bit of talking to myself, and hearing myself cheer myself on. And hopefully y'all get something out of this as well. And I know you do, because I think these kickbacks have an amazing way of speaking to a lot of what we're all experiencing. And it's very helpful for me just to like be a champion for myself and a champion for the collective at the same time. So I'm hoping that y'all get something out of it. Okay. So, how to soothe yourself through big life changes. So when I say soothe, when I'm saying soothe yourself, I'm talking about providing yourself comfort, providing yourself care, providing yourself love or stability as you move through what feels like maybe like a challenging time. Changes can be positive, you know what I mean? Or changes could be negative, or changes could be neutral. But at the end of the day, a change a lot of times offers like a discomfort feeling. It's like an unstable, unsettled. It's like you don't really know what's happening, what's going to go on. You might not know how everything's going to turn out. Change can be like really unsettling at times. You know what I mean? And so for me, when I know that potentially I've called in a change, I'm asking for a career change, I'm asking for more money, I'm asking for a baby to come in, I'm asking for a lover or a partner to come in, I'm asking to get rid of things that no longer serve me, I'm asking to let go of the relationships that no longer serve. I'm kind of feeling like that's what's happening. Whenever I know I've actually called in some change, or I feel like some change is happening, it feels like it requires me to soothe myself so that change or whatever I'm asking to be changed in my life comes in on a smooth playing field as possible. Because one of my core beliefs is that if I want something to come, how I set the atmosphere in my life will dictate how the change comes in. If I'm nervous, if I'm stressed, if I'm angry, if I'm anxious, anything coming in is going to come in matching that vibration. So I have to be cognizant that, if I want new things to come in, let me be as soothed, as happy, as easy, as confident, as comfortable as possible as that change is coming in, so that it sets a precedent, a vibrational precedent, an energetic precedent for this thing to come in and match me where I'm at. So for me, it's really important for me to be soothed, for me to be calm as possible, for me to be as clear-headed as possible, for me to be as comforted and as supported as possible as these changes are erupting, as these changes are unfolding, as these changes are manifesting and materializing in my life. I want to set the vibrational atmosphere. I want to segment intend. I want the next segment of my life. I intend for the next segment of my life to be elevated, to be calm, to be smooth. So that's why soothing came out as the specific wording that I used for this topic today. I think that's why it's important to pay attention to how you're feeling when your changes are coming in. Yeah. When different changes are coming in. I think it's also important to understand I think it's also important to understand that it is unnerving. To acknowledge that change is unnerving and that it's okay to be nervous about it. There's nothing to kick yourself about, to be like, damn, well, I'm always scared and nervous. Change is unnerving. New shit is always unnerving. Yeah. And so you can acknowledge that it's okay to feel that way and then to intend something different, to choose something different, right? Because sometimes emotions are not fully under your control. Even thoughts are not even fully under your control. They can come in, but as long as you're aware enough and you're observing what they are, you can, if they're not what you want them to be and not what you know will serve you, you can select something different. You can select a different perspective or a mindset. You can select a different emotion or feeling or attitude and ease your way into the new one that you actually select. When people are saying inner work, that's what they're talking about. Having enough awareness about who you are being, what you are thinking, what you are feeling, to decide if it will serve you the best. And if it does, perfect. If it doesn't, choosing something better for yourself. That is what spiritual growth is. That is what doing the inner work means. Awareness of who you are, what you're being, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and choosing a better feeling, thought, choosing something better if you feel like that's where you want to take it. One of the reasons why I feel like change is so unnerving is because a lot of times we think it's like one little change. We think, oh, I'm going to change, I'm going to change my nail polish color. I'm going to change my lipstick color. I'm going to, change my top. I want my top to be pink today or something like that. I want it to be something else. We think we're changing something small. But when the big things are changing in your life, you're not only changing that one thing, you're changing the system. You're changing the paradigm. You might be changing the whole ecosystem surrounding that one particular change. For instance, it might be bigger. I say that to say it might be bigger than that one little change. You might be like Apartment Life View, thinking that, okay, I just want to change my job. But when you change your job, you have to realize, how you make your money, how you make your livelihood, how your attitudes as you perform at work, your responsibilities. A lot of that, changing that one thing can knock a whole bunch of dominoes down. It can, and I want to use that. I want to make sure you guys feel me on that. I'm not saying like knock it down and like terrorize it. I just means that there's impact. There's like impact when you change certain things. It's changing a whole system. It's changing a whole way, your days go and your weeks go and things like that. You might be changing where your commute is. You might be changing, your client, your project, that mindset that you have to be in, you know what I mean? And so it is a little bit of a whole system change, a whole paradigm shift. You know what I mean? And so, that's why it might feel like, dang, why this one little change? Why this one little thing is causing me so much anxiety? I mean, I'm just buying a new car. Like, I mean, is it really that big of a deal? Why am I so nervous about it? Why am I so scared? And that's because we live in an ecosystem. Things are connected and other things might be impacted that maybe we don't even consciously paying attention to. But on some level, energetically, our body, something is making us aware that it's going to impact more than just the one little thing. Right? So I say that to say, yeah, it can be unnerving and rightly so. But and that's why. That's why. Because sometimes it impacts way more than you're anticipating. Right? So that comfort and that soothing yourself as the change unfolds, I think is um is necessary for it to go as smoothly as possible. It's one thing that you can do to try to ensure that it goes as smoothly as possible. You can't control every, obviously we can't control every minute, every little piece of it, but we can control our attitude towards it, our perceptions of it, and our anticipation of it. Yeah. In looking for that comfort and that smoothing, that soothing, what I have to remind myself of is be careful who you reach to for that comfort because they could very well sabotage you, intentionally or unintentionally. You're reaching out to call your parents, you're reaching out to call your bestie, you're reaching out to call your siblings because you feel something change, something's happening, and you could just use a little bit of encouragement. You could just use a little bit of, oh, everything's going to work out. Or don't worry, you got it. You got this. You got this. You can do this. You've done it before. You can do it again. Or everything is going to work out. Or, I'm here for you if I need you. You kind of reach out. That's what you're looking for. And sometimes if you choose the wrong person, you can end up with them telling you some foolishness that actually makes the situation even worse. To be honest with you, what I'm finding is that one of the reasons why that happens sometimes is not always their fault. Sometimes if you go into a conversation or you reach out to somebody in a scared or slightly nervous or unnerved feeling, you basically end up drawing that out of them too. So you're reaching to them for reinforcement. You're reaching to them for the courage. You're reaching to them for the soothing. You're reaching to them for the, cheerleading, because that's what you need. But then you talk to them and they're giving you the same nervous energy that you came to them with, if not worse. So a few weeks ago, probably even a month and a half ago, we had talked about moving in silence on our Friday Night Kickback. And that was one of the reasons why we talked about that move in silence, because until you have like completely decided that, all right, this is how it's going to go. This is what I'm intending. This is what I want. I'm confident it's going to come in. I feel the change coming. So, I feel prepared. I feel grounded. All right, God, bring it on. All right, Spirit, bring it on. All right, like let's do this. Until you get to that place, if you share it before time with anybody, they most likely they're gonna come to you with some wishy-washy, shaky feeling that makes it worse. Has anybody else experienced that? You ever notice that? You go to somebody for them to be your cheerleader and they just completely derail you and make you feel like shit for like 2 days. So now not only was you nervous about the change, you was nervous about what you was trying to do. Now you got to dig yourself out of the hole of their bad mind, of their disbelief, of it failing for them. So then projecting that it should fail for you. Now you got to dig yourself out because you made the mistake of reaching to the wrong person for that soothing. Damn. So be mindful of that because, maybe you can make a better decision. Maybe your gut reaction is to pick up the phone and call this one person, but you kind of know every single time you've been nervous about something and you think you reach into them for help, they sabotage you. So then you're like, wait. I'm nervous. I want some comfort. I was going to call that person, but that person is a sabotage. Intentionally or unintentionally, they might have the best intentions, whatever, who cares? The bottom line is that they end up sabotaging you. So maybe not call them. Who would be a better person to call? Who I know will actually offer me some soothing, will actually offer me some comfort and some cheerleading and not make me feel worse and give me a bigger hole to dig myself out of. Call that person instead. Don't always call your gut reaction of who you want to pick up the phone when you kind of know that every other time you did that They ass wasn't the one. They wasn't the one. So just being mindful of who you reach to when you like need that cheerleading, and that comfort. I see y'all chiming in the comments. Apartment Love You is saying, so true. Intuition sometimes has me pause what I plan to discuss with them or keeping it vague. Sometimes I just change the subject. Whew. Why I made the mistake of not changing the subject immediately. Now, normally, I would have immediately changed the subject. Why did I make the mistake of not changing the subject and ended up having to sabotage me? Threw me back a whole 3-4 days. Threw me back a whole week. That was some good advice, Apartment Love You. I feel you. I feel you. But that's okay. I'm forgiving myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for still being nervous and undecided about what I'm trying to do. I forgive myself for talking to the wrong person about it. I forgive myself for like feeling like, dang, it took me too many days to bounce back. It took me too many days to recover. It didn't take me too many days. The timing is perfect. I learned it again. I'm still learning that lesson. I'm only human. And I forgive them for not delivering to me what I know is necessary. I can get it from somebody else. I forgive myself for all of that, and I forgive them too. How about that? That's the best I can do to recover. Anna is saying, I have a small circle of people I know I can count on to be supportive with that unconditional love, and I've had to learn who not to go to. Learn who not to go to, even when their position or role in your life seems like they should be the logical person to be that cheerleader for you, seems like it should be the logical person that you should go to, seems like it should be, but you're realizing like, damn, you're not it. And that's okay. That's okay. I release judgment of that. I release expectation of that. You're good at some things and you're not good at other things. You're only human. You know what I mean? But learning who not to go to. And forgiving yourself for misstepping sometimes, or not shutting the conversation down, or not like gingerly changing the topic like when you knew that's what you usually do. Slipped up this one time and you paid for it, didn't you? Slipped up this one time and you paid for it. That was me this week, y'all. But I feel like some of these lessons are necessary to keep reminders. They'll come up again and again in different forms. So that's the first thing. One of the things that I heard this week in listening, you guys know I listen to YouTubers, I listen to my spiritual stuff, I journal, I do all my kind of inner work stuff. And one of the things that I heard, I've heard it before, but I haven't heard it this particular way. But I'm sure you'll know what we're talking about. It says, don't ask directions from those who never been on the path. Don't ask directions from somebody who never been where you're going. How you gonna ask them directions? They're gonna send you off into la la land. They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about where you're going, yet you asking them for directions, directly or indirectly. You know what I mean? You might just be again looking for that comfort, looking for that soothing, just reaching for that, and they thinking you asking them for direction, and here they go telling you to hell go to BFE over here when you trying to go over here. You know what I mean? Throw you all off. Don't ask for directions from somebody who has never been on that path. Sometimes it's not even directions. And sometimes it's don't ask for comfort from somebody who has never comforted themselves in doing anything even close to what you're trying to do. They have never in their life reached for nothing close to what you're reaching for. Or what they reached for was a reach for them, but now what you reaching for is a reach for you, and it's two different scales. It's two different scales. You know, they was reaching for a job and a 5-minute commute. You know, you trying to reach for a business, a multi-million-dollar business, and a rich husband. It's two different scales. Y'all not reaching for the same thing. So why you can't ask for them to comfort you for that. They ain't gonna be able to do it. In fact, they're gonna stifle you more likely than not. Lessons we learn and self-forgiveness we take. You know what I mean? Self-forgiveness we deliver. That part. That part. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Pamela View is saying yes, just opening the door for more doubt because of their bias and insecurities. You know, and sometimes they can't even, you know, can you blame them? Can you really blame them? You know, because some of the things that we're reaching for nowadays, some of the things that we won't tolerate, you know, that other people tolerate that we won't tolerate, or things that we want that other people never in their wildest dreams imagine that they could even ask for or desire secretly, never even came to their mind that it could be possible for them, is what we're reaching for. So we can't even blame them that they got insecurities around it or that they got doubt around it, because it just blows what they're thinking about out the water. So how to not take it personally. We got Ferd in the building. How to not take it personally. How not to take their self-doubt that they're projecting onto you personally. How not to take their sabotage. How not to take their worry. How not to take that personally. How not to take that personally. I had to coach. When I tell you, I had to talk out loud to myself. My neighbors probably think I'm nuts. The way I was talking the things about how not to take those things personally when somebody cannot see what the vision that you're trying to accomplish. And not only, they don't even got to see it, they just got to try to encourage you towards it, and they can't do that. I was talking the things my neighbors probably said, who's she arguing with? Not arguing with a soul. I'm talking out loud. I'm coaching myself so that I can hear how I've decided, that I can hear it back, how certain that I am, how I can hear how money must bend to my will, because I decided. How the change must bend to my will because I decided what I'm calling in, not anybody else. And how I looked back at my life and see that at every instance in where I decided what I wanted, clearly and unequivocally, I got it. I'm looking for the patterns. I'm looking for the evidence. I'm looking for the confirmation of what I know. And I know that once I decide, everything falls into place, regardless of anybody else's disbelief or not understanding what you're doing or what we're doing or why you're doing that or how it's going to work or all of this or all of that. That was another thing we talked about. Move in silence because they will question you to death. How's that gonna work? When's that gonna work? How's that gonna happen? Did this happen? When that happened? How this happened? I just don't see when secretly you can't never see it. It wasn't for you to see in the first place. God didn't give you that vision. Even if he did, you wouldn't have been able to execute it. So you ain't never gonna see what's happening over here. But that's okay. I was hot this week, y'all. Hot. Being gentle with yourself, being patient with yourself. As you help your mindset, as you help your attitudes, as you soothe yourself, as you build your confidence, as you get clear on what you want, be patient, be gentle with yourself. in helping your mind align with the yearnings of your heart. We talked about this before too. Sometimes you want something and you're calling something in and you feel that change coming and it's something grand and big that your heart wants, but your mind has all these limiting beliefs, these fears, these old paradigms, these old systems, these old programmings that won't allow you to flex and open up and receive the new shit that you're calling in, the bigger and better that you're calling in. And you have to work with your mind. You have to work with your programming. You have to work with your limiting beliefs to release them, release them, release them, release them. Can you let go? Can you let go? Can you let go the limiting beliefs? Can you let go the old paradigm? Can you let go the old mindsets? Can you let go the old doubt, the old fear, the old worry, the old judgments, the old mistakes? Can you let them go and allow the new shit to come in? How do you do that with patience and grace and gentleness for yourself? Because that's what it requires sometimes. It requires helping your mind align and believe what your heart already knows to be true, what your heart already desires. How do you get your mind and your heart to be on the same accord? How do you get your mindset and your attitudes and your perspectives and your beliefs to be on the same accord of what your desires and your wants and your passions are, so that you're both parts of you are moving in the same direction? Because when they are aligned and they're moving in a particular direction, wild horses couldn't keep you from where you're headed, from what you want, from the change that you're calling in, from where you're going to be where you're meeting the change at. Wild horses couldn't keep you from it if you have that mind and that heart alignment. Typically the heart is clear. For me, the heart be clear. I be knowing what I want. I know what I want. Now my mind, those limiting beliefs, those programmings, those worries about what other people think, those worries if it'll work out, those worries if I'll have enough money, those worries if I'll have enough support, the worries if I'll have enough soothing, the worries if I'll still keep wanting to do it after a while. All of those things take far more work. My heart be clear. The mind be what you have to be gentle and patient and working with and caressing and wanting it and then chilling out and leaving it alone for a little bit and letting it take root, letting the new mindsets take root, then coming back to it and feeling a little bit stronger, then pushing forward a little bit, then talking to the wrong damn somebody that knocked you off your horse, and then you have to sit down a little bit more about it. Then you realize, like, what the hell? You coach yourself up, then you jump back up, then you start again. It be the mind that take the most work. Is that just me? Is that just my mind? Is that just the way I'm set up? Because it very well could be. It very well could be an individual kind of like, Kel, your mind be doing the most. Why your mind be doing the most, Kel? Or do y'all know, y'all feel what I'm saying? I just saw 333 on the calendar, on the clock. 333 is my number, so it might just be confirmation that that's just you, babe. That's just how your mind works. That's just how we set you up. But y'all let me know. Take your time with the healing process too, Anna says. Take your time. Take your time with the healing process. Apartment Life, you were saying, you mentioned journaling. Do you use it as an introspective affirmation tool or in the classic manner of writing entries about the good and the bad? Both. Anything that sometimes I journal every day. Sometimes I don't. I journal once a week. So I let it flow. But I find that if there's something that I'm going through in life, or some conclusion or some perspective shift or something that I really want to make sure I document, or something that I'm seeing some pattern, I try to write it down, because it's very helpful to go back and look at where you're coming from and see the patterns in your life. Also, sometimes I use it as a divination tool. A divination tool is something when you are communicating with the divine, when you are communicating with your higher self, when you're communicating with your intuition. It's hard to, when you are a high thinker, it's hard to dissect everything in your mind. So when you start writing down what you're thinking, ideas start coming through as well, because it's almost like you're freeing the ideas from your mind so that more ideas can flow. It's like you're creating a flow. So instead of keeping all the ideas and the thoughts locked up in your mind and letting them bounce around in there, if you actually start writing them down, it'll start flowing. And so then you can say, oh, that's what, sometimes you can ask yourself questions. You can just start writing randomly about how you felt that day or what you were grateful for, or how the good, the bad, and ugly of the day. And all of a sudden, dots will start to connect and it will come out in your writing. So most people don't realize that. So they end up telling you, oh, just write 5 things that you're grateful for, or write about your day, or write how the day was. But really, when you start getting into deep work and deep inner introspection and inner work, you can start asking yourself questions and writing the answer. So if you are indecisive, for an instance, if you're indecisive about something, if you feel like, damn, I really want to quit this damn job, you can ask yourself that in the journal. You can write, on the top of the job, what is it that I'm looking for in my that I'm missing now? What is it? What am I looking for? Why am I looking to make that change? And then you can just start writing like, well, I really would like this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that and this and this. And all of a sudden things will come out of you that you didn't even fully know were there. That's what divination means. So journaling can be that introspection, affirmation, and it can also be, oh, this happened today, that happened today. I don't, usually I'm writing more about I don't usually say, well, I woke up this morning and went to the supermarket. I don't usually write that. I usually write how I'm feeling. Sometimes I write about what I dreamt about. Sometimes I write about if I was watching a specific YouTube video and somebody said something that impressed me, like made an impression on me. Like, for instance, don't ask for directions to a place that the person have never been. And I'm like, oh, that's the same thing. Like, don't, I've heard that before, but in a different way. So I might write that in my journal and say, I like how that sounds. That resonated with me today. That made my ears perk up today. Why did I need to hear that? What about that really disturbed my soul? And when I say disturbed, I don't mean like in a negative way, but just like, why did that resonate with me today? Oh, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Sometimes if you're seeing a lot of repeating numbers, you can start writing them down. Damn, every day I'm seeing 222. What does 222 mean? And then the next day you might be journaling and you're like, oh, this whole week I've been writing about love and I've been seeing 222 on license plates, on the clock, on my damn receipt. My receipt is saying 222, and I dreamt about love and then I saw 222 in my dream. And then, I was thinking about, being in a relationship, and then my friend called me at 12:22. If you write these things down, you can say, oh, shoot, I was thinking about 222 means, and it'll uncode for you. It'll decode for you. It'll decode for you. So that's how journaling works and can help you with your inner work. Yeah. And I say my mind tells me lies sometimes too. It does take work to figure out what thoughts you disregard and what's actually logical. Yeah, because sometimes your thoughts are about programming, like the systems in which you were growing up with, your parents' ideas of the world, your grandparents' ideas of the world, your genealogy or your bloodlines ideas of the world is passed down to you on unconscious levels as well. Stuff you don't even remember from your childhood. You just a kid playing dollies and you hearing them in the background talking about how hard it is to make money. And all of a sudden you grow up thinking, damn, it's hard to make money. Don't even know that that's programming and that's nonsense. Didn't even know that because that's all you've been hearing your whole life. Before you could even speak, you were hearing that. So a lot of times your mind repeats to you things that it had heard or that it picked up from your environment that are actually no longer relevant or not, or are kind of nonsensical to you now. So I totally agree with that. That's why when you're doing the work, you can pay attention to the thoughts that you're thinking and evaluate whether or not those thoughts no longer serve you. If those thoughts are limiting thoughts, are self-limiting thoughts, you can choose to let them go. Even if it's just bit by bit, just relax it a bit. Relax it a bit. How do you relax it? So you realize that you have a limiting belief about money. You realize that every time you spend a little money, your belly clenches up. You realize that every time you get money, your belly clenches up. You realize that every time you ask for a sale or you're putting your offering out there, your belly clenches up. Then you can realize that, oh shoot, I think I have a limiting belief about money. I think I have a limiting belief about money. Okay, so I would like to change that. So I'm going to write that at the top of my journal. Like, how could I maybe start to change my mind about the ease in which money comes into my life? How can I look for confirmation that money actually comes in easily? What are all the instances that money just busts into my life? Like, here I go, bitch. Rich, very rich. When are those instances? When did that happen? How often does that happen? Oh, it happens more often than I think. Oh, it usually happens when I'm doing something happily and not concerned about the money. Then all of a sudden the money's bust up in the scene, like, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, you can start to dissect and pull apart and relax limiting beliefs. But first, you have to realize that they're there. Then you can make the decision to say, all right, that's not really serving me right now. So how can I, all right, how do I change that? What else could I think? What else could I do? And then take it from there. And journaling helps with that as well. This chair is very chinky today. I don't know if y'all can hear all that. Just, but hopefully not too bad. Prima Love, you were saying, oh my God, yes. I need to release the thoughts and build more spiritual energy. Good point about noticing patterns as well. Take inventory. Notice the patterns. The patterns tell a story. The patterns tell a story in your life. The patterns tell a story in your life. The other day I was talking about, guys, I went off on like a little heated thing a second ago. I said, money comes to me easily. Money bends to my will. You know why I said that? Because the story goes like this. I knew I needed to go to college, like university, to get the hell out of my parents' house, right? But we didn't have any money. My parents didn't have any money to send me to college. But I knew I was smart. The one thing that my dad would always say to me is like, this is America. There's money. And so on some level, at a 17-year-old, I believed that. So I knew, okay, I could get scholarships. I could get scholarships. I'm smart, like I can get scholarships for college because I knew I need the money. The college was the escape route. There was no way out of this bitch unless it was a university. So I was like, all right, so how this is gonna work is we're gonna go to university. I'm smart. I like university anyway. We just need to figure out the money part. But I knew that university was my route. I had decided that was my route. Clear. This is me looking at it retrospect, right? This is me looking at it from the future, from now, when I look back at what was happening. So, all right, so we know we have to go to college. So, start writing scholarships, write scholarships, and money starts trickling in, Full college paid for, parents didn't have a red cent. No loans. When I look back at it now, the reason why I say money bends to my will is because I realized that at every instance of my life, when I decided what I wanted, I didn't decide that I wanted the money. I decided that I wanted to go to college. The money aligned. I decided that I wanted to go study in London. The money aligned. I decided that I wanted to buy a new car. The money aligned. I decided that I wanted to buy a new house. The money aligned. You decide what you want and the money must align to it. Now, I didn't have a limiting belief around money because back when I was 17, my dad said, this is America. Money must come. So that was a conditioning that my parents had given to me that I actually absorbed. And then I saw evidence of it. So we can have good beliefs and systems and programmings that actually serve you, or you can have beliefs and systems that actually don't serve you. You know what I mean? But luckily that one actually did. Now, about that mindset though, I had to put in a lot of work to get that money, but the money came. So maybe my next level, my next evolution of that mindset and that programming is that money comes to me once I decide, and I don't have to kill myself. I don't have to grind myself down to the bone. I don't have to work like a Hebrew slave, like an African slave. None of that. I don't have to do none of that to get the money. Maybe the money comes easily without me having to work like a man. Maybe that's the next evolution of the mindset, right? Because my original mindset served me pretty well. But now now the change is taking it from, oh, grinding down, working for money, it'll come to, actually, it comes just because I decide of the next thing that I want to do without having to grind for it. Maybe that's the next evolution of the mindset. You know what I mean? And so you can figure out where you are in the place and go from there. Yeah, that's how you build your spiritual energy apartment life view, just observing. Looking for the evidence, looking for the confirmation. So once you decide, all right, I want to shift the mindset, then look for the evidence of things working in the way that the new mindset said. So if you're now saying, okay, it's not hard for me to make money. It's easy for me to make money. Every day, look for evidence of how it's easy for you to make money. Even if you found 5 cents on the ground, I found 5 cents on the ground. Look how easy it was for me to make that money free. I opened my email and somebody tried to commission something from me. Look how easy that was. My birthday came up, people gave me a whole bunch of money. Look how easy that was. You know what I mean? Easy to make money. You know what I mean? Easy to find a new job. Easy to, gain weight. Easy to lose weight. Easy to find a relationship. Find friendships. You know what I mean? Make friends. Connect with people. Smile at people. Make a warm connection with the Publix, the supermarket cashier. Even any evidence of what you're looking for, on a grand scale or a small scale. Confirmation of what you're looking for. And then I think the last thing for me on this is how to soothe yourself. Their big life changes is asking for help. Asking for help from the right people, but asking for help. You can ask for help from God, from the divine. You can ask for help from a friend, from a lover. But for me, asking for help is challenging because, the philosophy, move in silence, move in silence, move in silence. But sometimes you get to a place where you really need that, you really need that. You got this, And so asking for that, feeling okay to figure out who the right person is to ask for that and receive that. I think that's something that I'm working on, is, how to ask for help. Yeah. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. This was a rough week for me. I really had to talk that stuff to myself, to get myself back on the path, and to get myself prepared for the change that I'm calling in, and to soothe myself through that. Yeah. Anyway, Partner Love You showing love in the chat. Y'all, I don't know if I have anything more to say. What say y'all? Anything else? Pour myself some more water. I'm drinking lemon water. Anna showing love. Well, you guys know that this is week. Ooh, what week is this week 25? It's the consistency for me. Week 25, Friday Night Kickbacks. I think this is week 25. It might be week 26, but we'll err on the side of modestness. And we'll say it's week 25. 25 weeks consistent going live each and every Friday night, talking that talk, responding to the topics y'all want to talk about, and sometimes picking my own topics, coaching myself. You know, there's a playlist on the YouTube channel where you can go back and watch all of the Friday Night Kickbacks. You know, I don't hold back. There's a podcast in the works as well. There's merch in the works as well. All of that. We're going to continue on this journey, showing our face, reconnecting with the collective, and learning from the collective wisdom of the Kells community, decompressing from the week and all the code switching. If you are catching us live, you know it's all love. And if you are catching us on a replay gang, drop that emoji in the chat. Let us know your thoughts, your feedback. We want to hear what you have to say too. Replay gang is strong around here. You know what I mean? DB in the building, late, but he made it. Probably was chefing it up. 25 weeks. You know, it's 52 weeks in a year. And we on to week 25. Y'all know what that means. Almost halfway through with the year. Consistency is key. It's the consistency for me. I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating, loving, living, all of that world. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you to subscribe. And if you're an oldie but a goodie like DB, like a permanent life view, like Anna in the building, like Ferg, he started to be an old head too. It's all love. Lord, there's this little bugaboo in here, this little fly, because of the lights all right here. Lord, this fly. Yeah. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Be sure to catch up on all the lives. Be sure to share the video, share the love, and smash that like button. And yeah, I will see you guys again next week. Bye, guys.